This is just AMZN for Friday, January 17th, 2020. Taking a look at the 5 minute. And I want to do two things. First, this day looks a lot like the previous Friday, the 10th. So we're going to go back and look at that. So hang on, we'll do that next. But also, just want to let you know that I would really like to refer you to a friend who is having a free week of trading education. And it's where I've learned a lot of how to chart and what I look for, and a whole lot more than what I do with just AMZN. Send me an email if you'd like to receive a referral link for that. And it's a free week next week, starting the 27th through the 31st. And you could learn a lot for free, and maybe even sign up and join a great community of traders that I'm a part of as well. So, all right, just wanted to get that out there. All right, let's take a look at today. Friday the 17th. We had a really nice sell-off right at the open, and then had a really great triangle, or at least a stair step. Did not come back up into the 21. And this is really what I was kind of anticipating it doing, getting back up here. That's kind of the one thing that really it didn't look like the previous Friday. We did get back into the 21 here and here and here, and then didn't actually touch it again until we blew past it. This was probably just because it's monthly expiration that it really had this much of a rally. If we do go back and look at the previous Friday, it was this day right here. Big sell-off, retracement into the 21, and then collapsed the rest of the day, and did not get a big rally into the close. It was a weekly expiration, definitely not a monthly expiration, and so lighter volume, a smaller move, but really just a lot of similarities where we're selling off from a gap up. I mean, it gapped up slightly. It was still a gap that had stayed below the previous day. And so this was really where we got going with this downtrend. And ever since then, we've really been much lower, except for these days. This is actually a higher high here. Let me jump over to the daily. So this is what I was talking about. This is what I was looking for: a gap up, clearing these highs. The high of this day was 1887.11. The high of this day was 1885.59. We opened at 1885.89. So really, let's see, 1885.89, really just barely above this candle and just below this one. And I thought that would be enough for this thing to rip higher. And obviously, in the first 5 minutes, it did not. It was starting to get going pre-market. And I was kind of seeing it through here, just kind of keep an eye on where the pre-market was, and then just seeing it get up here right before open. It's like, oh man, it's going to go. It's actually going to open up here and just run it. And it didn't. It collapsed very quickly. And like I said, came into a really nice stair step. I'm seeing a triangle, but my eyes are really trained to look for that. I like this high wave bullish candle, and then a really small inside candle, and then a breakdown from there. Within this, it's yet another inside candle, and then we start to get going. Get below some wicks, a hammer here, taking out some, this low, where this is more people buying right here, trying to get in and push it back up right at the opening low. And it is a bullish gap and go. It's supposed to go bullish, but it did not. And then this bearish engulfing candle said goodbye, broke down some more, did the small S curve, and actually plunged right into 1863.84. Chopped around on that for a little bit, actually did a little bit of a double bottom here, came back into the 21, rolled over, came right into what you would consider like a neckline area, and looked like it was going to start to bounce. And we're right back into this downtrend range. So again, we're just straddling this. That, along with the 21, just put the pressure on just to hold this down, and you get a really nice triangle, flat-ish bottom, and being held down with the 21, and that's what really looks similar to that Friday, right? Friday. guess we didn't have the line. I was picturing, okay, I was thinking this was holding a better low, but no, it kept poking down lower. It was a triangle shape with the 21 and kind of a flattish bottom, but I guess not as clean as I was remembering. Okay, so mostly flat bottom here, downtrend, and it just squeezed right in here, with an actual squeeze on the TTM squeeze. That broke down, had a really nice retracement right back up into those lows, and then it actually did kind of a bit of a stair step, rest after battle here, broke down, and then a second retracement, not quite as high, but this one even came right back into these lows. Both of these retraced into these lows here and then rolled over. And once it got down here, it's like, oh man, this thing is done. But this is not where you want to be selling because you had from way up here. So, if you're just picturing how this day is going, any place where it's breaking down or retracing, getting in on a bullish candle after it's broken down is actually an okay trade. After these three bearish, getting in on this bullish wasn't a great place, but getting a little bit of retracement of the 21, this you could have gotten in bearish here. You could have been getting in bearish here. This was more of a stair step, so it didn't really, it worked, but getting in on that retracement, getting in on this second bullish candle, this second bullish candle, and having a stop up here, that would have worked. But getting in bearish down here as it's breaking down, and even like a hammer candle here looking to break down from there, it didn't go much further. I was actually running out of steam here. And then for really the last half hour of the day, it mostly rallied. And like I said, I think that was because of options or monthly expiration, that a lot more volume came in and really pushed that back up. So you could really consider this triangle here with 1, 2, 3 retracements, and we ended with a high wave candle right here. Now this is, there you can see, downtrend channel. We're right back into that. Really contending with these lows again. Did not get this. I was picturing this inverted head and shoulders shape. It doesn't quite look like that. It really needs to keep, stay above this low here, and it didn't do that. Had this broken out bullish, yes, that would have really made it look like this is a shoulder, a head, a shoulder, and then go. But it didn't. It continued lower. You can see how many people were trapped up here. People looking to go bullish. Even people up here above this line. It should hold the low. It should hold that value. It should bounce where it broke down the previous day. It should bounce there. And it just didn't. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bearish candles in a row. I thought it was a lot to have these 5 bullish candles in a row. I knew we needed a little bit of rest. I didn't expect 8 bearish candles in a row, especially this one being a bearish engulfing now. These 4 are really like a stair step right through this area. It's just not what I expected at all to see through here. We've come right back down to the 21 here. We've gotten below these bullish candles, at least with the move down. We recovered back to our pivot. And really, it's just a question of, are we going to continue down from here and how far? Or can we do some sort of gap up again, like we did this day or this day, or like this day? And is this enough of a rest? This is definitely a rest. If we can get another gap up and have some sort of move, could it go? We had these gap downs. If we gap down from this price all the way down to this price and then recovered, we gapped from this price all the way down to this price and just faded all day up. This was very much a bullish gap and go that faded all day, or at least all day except for the last half hour. So could we do another gap up like that? Yes. Will it fade again? It could fade, or it could fade a little while and then bounce. I'd still like to see this move bullish. It's been sideways for so long here that it doesn't have to be done pulling back. And it, at the same time, this is a decent S curve here, and it really could get going. So I don't know what direction it's going to go. I'd like to know. I like to be able to say, yeah, it's definitely going to do this. But let's just set things up. Let's set up the trade and look for these levels to hold. So far, we've been putting in a really nice accumulation here. It's just a question of it's really stayed pretty close to a range. It's poked past a bit, but you could have traded, from our lineup here at 1880.05 down to 1863.84 and back up again. Now, yes, this day it didn't come all the way down, but you probably would have been trailing a stop and still made something on it. This day, yeah, had you taken profits here, you missed the a little more of a move. That's fine too. But it's really worked with the range that we've got here. So if we jump over to, oops, that's not what I meant to do. All right, if we look at this and look at getting in bearish anywhere up in here, or as some of these bullish candles are popping in here, especially, let's say this candle at right at 9:30. This is the 1875 put. We've got a really nice stair step here, and then at 9:30, it's starting to, no, this candle, 9:30, it's retracing a little bit from breaking down. So this would have been 7x6, maybe. It may have been a little bit tight for up here. The 1875 was actually a little bit, some of these candles were a little wider. So they were already about $100 right here. So that may have been a little bit tough to trade with $100 risk. If you had gotten in, putting a really nice base here at 5. Wow. So getting in 5x4, maybe, at least getting in something around 5. We've had to do 5x4. Yeah, I don't know if this option would have worked so well. Let's go to the 1865 and see what happened. It probably got going slower, pulled back a little more. Okay, much easier to trade $100 risk. Held the low, 9:30 candle here was under 250, 250 by 150. That still looks like it would have been a little tight. Maybe 220, yeah, like 225. Maybe 225 or 125. Get the low there. That would have worked. And then give you another opportunity at 225 here. But it didn't, I mean, it got going, it got up to 2R, and then came back to 250, 250. That just didn't get going. Maybe the 1870 would have worked better. 3, 39.30, you're pulling back 4x3, maybe. And then what I like on some of these, that it kind of steps up. So getting in 5x4, getting in 5x4 again here, then over here 6x5, 7x6. Kind of stepping. It's showing that it's moving in that direction. You just don't know how long. It mounts to about every 45 minutes to an hour. So 9:15 to 10:15. Yeah. 15, it's about an hour. Hour 45 or hour 15. So at least it's going kind of in an uptrend here, right? Looks like it. Here, mostly an uptrend. So pulls back a little bit more in some spots, but anyway, still something that you can, follow some of these levels and say, okay, here's a good level. Here's a nice solid level. It should hold this. What gives me a good entry in holding this level? Well, do something 350 by 250 to hold that level. But 1870, I'd rather be trading the 1875. 1850 is too far to the money. And then the calls didn't get going at all till late in the day. So this is the 1875 calls. They just lost value all day long. A little blip here, but that was it. And then, let's see, we were way down at 1860, I think. Oh, that got under $1. That would have been great. Definitely didn't play that. That would have been nice. Buy at $1. Just have something sitting open for a little bit, but you never know if it's going to recover. And it's selling off though like this. It seems like a retracement is due. 5 bearish candles in a row after a breakdown. Yeah, it makes sense. It would totally retrace. Just don't know how far. So maybe you're getting in down here bullish at 1860. Wow, that wasn't even that far away. 10 minutes, 2 candles later, it's back in the money. Yeah, that would have been no-brainer setup had I been trading without a brain. So buying it at $1 and flipping it out at $1.50 or $2. I mean, at least snagging half an hour and then two, and then had you just, again, building up that nerve to hold into the last 10 minutes, but not the last 5 minutes, like just being able to hold the trade longer. This is kind of the ideal aggressive trading, and make sure you're only doing this either with house money or money you're absolutely okay to have no attachment to, because you can get whipped out of something so quickly. So yeah, nice move right there. You really could have gotten in for $1 and just had kind of a puke move, sitting out here to get out back up here like below, like at 4, and just been getting ready for the last, before the last 10 minutes. You're like, okay, if it doesn't get up to this $4 price, I'm out. I'm just going to send a market order right at 255 and be out. And it would have moved here. Market order at least would have gotten you out somewhere, but probably with such slippage, you may have actually lost a little bit. You may have gotten slippage below $1, even though this says 133 is the low. That's what actually traded, but had you had a market order prior to that, who knows where you would have gotten out. Anyway, I've been on the wrong side of those too. So anyway, we go from here. I think the potential is we still bounce around in here a little more. We've done this for 4 days. We did it up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. Started to show a downslope. We had this run in this day. We're still below this gap. This one filled. This gap is still open. That's what this is. So we'll keep an eye on any movement back up or attempt to move back to 1900. But if we get out of this range, look for it to get back up to this range and see how long we hold below 1900. If we break down again, it needs to get below and stay below these lows. It can retrace. Let's say this. It can retrace the pivot, but it's really got to stay down below the pivot. And with this downtrend line, we would be above it again if we were over here. We haven't really been able to hold above it too well. We chopped around it, looked like we were going to stay above, and then really pushed below, and we're just straddling this. So let's see if we can get and stay above this downtrend line. And I mean, it's not the cleanest line over here. It was really clean up here. It's not the cleanest over here. I'm not really sure what to make of that yet. I'm not seeing a bigger triangle showing up in here quite yet, because this would have been a different slope to get, these highs, and having this be higher, this high be higher than this high, and this low be low. It's not it's an inverted triangle, if anything, but it's not even that clean. Actually, no, it's from this day to this day, it's higher lows. From this day to this day, it's higher highs. So it's actually more of a flag here. I think I did talk about the potential that this could flag. I was picturing a smaller flag here. This could be a flag and then a breakdown. Let me look at the hourly. Let's see what the hourly is doing here. Zoom out. That's interesting. There's sort of a bit of an uptrend angle here and just a shorter one here, which would make this a little bit more of a wedge. Breakdown, a little flag here. Breakdown. This just looks like a stair step. I'm not seeing a really strong flag through here. It looks like a stair step that's about to break down. This looks like it's about to break down some more. The hourly view, it just cleans up everything. It's like, wow, look at that huge move, and then we've just been chopped around. We had, like a 2-3 day pullback, and then a 1 day rally, and then a 1 day pullback, and then 2 day rally, and it makes these moves cleaner. That's a nice triangle there. Breakout. but not really sure what to make of this all yet, other than I like this going bullish, where this is a curve. This is like an S curve sort of shape, like we did kind of back here, where you got some choppiness. Actually, it could be doing something like this again. You get some choppiness, you're hanging out on the lows, you look like you're breaking down, and then it goes. And it's allowing more. Yeah, actually, that looks kind of similar. Kind of. Had some bullishness come in, some bullishness come in, broke down, tried to recover. So here's our breakdown. This breakdown is like this. Then it's going to spend a day or two below this line, and then day or two below this line. So that means a day or two down here. What if it even came down to 1841.30? And then got to move back up, comes right back into that resistance, holds that resistance for 2 days. So that would mean holding 1880 for 2 days, or 1890, depending on what you call the high there. And then step up, and then triangle, and then continue. And then it's into the 1900s. And these pivots, or this resistance, that could be in here, or 1880, and then that could be right below 1900 with that gap. It doesn't look like much of a gap on here, but that's still a key value on a smaller time frame. So anyway, I was going to look at this, get a different perspective, and we'll see where things go. We'll just be ready to trade whatever the market gives us. So yeah, hope this helps. This is just AMZN. Thanks.